गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः ॐ श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः। ॐ वृषभं दर्शनीनां विश्वरूपमदाभ्यं बृहस्पतिं वरेण्यम् ॐ तद्विष्णोः परमं पदं सदा पश्यन्ति सूरय दिवि चक्षुराततम् ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं क्लीं हसौः जगत्प्रसूत्यै नमः। ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं ज्योतिर्ब्रह्माय नमः। ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं मेधादक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। Everybody say after me, Hare Rama Krishna 3 times. Om Hare Rama Krishna, Hare Rama Krishna, Hare Rama Krishna. Thanks to all of you who came to the Satyanarayan Vratam on Guru Purnima at my house, and also thanks for the gift. Like I said last year, there is no need to give me any gift. There is no need to give me any material gift. If you learn the subject, if you learn the knowledge and understand the knowledge, that is the only gift that I truly want. I don't need any other gift, any other material gift from you guys. You don't even have to be grateful for the knowledge that I give you. Whatever I give you, I got from somebody else, I'm just transferring it. So you don't really have to give me any material gift whatsoever. Keep that in mind in future. But if at all you must give me a material gift, what you get this year is a much better gift than what you gave me last year. Because this fulfills my other request also. The real gift to me is to learn the knowledge, not really give me anything material. And while giving this material gift to me, you have learned the knowledge. So I'm very pleased with the effort that all of you have put into creating that book. And the problem with audio tapes, even though we are recording and a lot of people are, compared to the people who are in the room, there are many more people in the world who listen to the audio. The number of people who listen to the audio and learn is much bigger compared to the number of people who are here. And for those people, it's a little complicated because if you suddenly get a doubt in the audio, here you can interrupt me and ask me. And then sometimes even something that I covered in the past, I go through it again. But if somebody is driving in a car and playing an MP3, he has no way to basically go back and listen to the audio. Even somebody who's at home, he has to stop that MP3, start playing another MP3, forward it, rewind it. It's really a painful process. Learning from the MP3, even though it's better than nothing, audio is a very one-dimensional thing. Whereas if you have text, you can search, you can just scroll quickly, browse and find out what you want. It's a two-dimensional format. It's actually a multi-dimensional format. So text format is really very good. And instead of just transcribing the lesson, what you have done is you understood the lessons and then gave the salient points. Basically you summarized each lesson in text format and created that book. So that can be helpful not only to you, but there are many more people outside of this room who will benefit from that work once it is available to everybody. So thank you very much for creating that book. I'm very, very happy with the effort that all of you have put in. But next year you don't really have to give me any gift. Keep that in mind. Like I said, I don't really, if you understand the knowledge, that's it. That's enough for you. Understand the knowledge and be grateful to the Maharishi from whom the knowledge originates, to Achyutananda Dasa, who is the originator of the Parampara, and Sri Sanjayji, who brought all this knowledge into open in the recent years. If you are grateful to them and understand the knowledge, that is enough as far as I am concerned. But thank you very much for the gift. So before we continue, are there any questions so far? And regarding the book, by the way, Saloni, you came late, but you can talk to Seshu at the end of the class. He mentioned a couple of errata. Yeah, send a mail to SSC cash postal list, so everybody gets it. And also, if you can update the online copy, update it.
I'll update the online copy. What I'm going to do is take a picture of the sunflower, put it on our main page, and put a link from that picture into the book itself.
Very good.
So people can download it.
Very good.
And also, whoever wants to get a hard copy without printing, they can get 24 copies. And we are going to consume only about 20 or 24 years.
Okay.
So anybody else who wants it, we can send it to them.
All the best. You can try that, but there may be more requests than we have books. So there may be more people requesting for a hard copy than you actually have the hard copy. So put that disclaimer basically.
Yeah.
First come, first serve.
Yes. And then we charge them the postage about it.
Okay. Yeah, you feel whatever you feel appropriate, do it. And whether the hard copy or the online download, even online download is not really a lot of size. Anybody should be able to download it. So it will be very useful to a lot of people. That much I can tell you. And thank you very much for the nice gift. And keep learning and keep asking questions. Now on that note, are there any questions? Yes, Kiran. I should divide the question answer time to two halves. One for Kiran, one for non-Kiran. Yes, Kiran. Okay. Okay. So he wants to give you a puzzle. Are you game for it? Okay. What's the data? October 22, 1943. Yeah? 7:30 a.m. Bangalore. Okay, the data for those who are listening, the audio is October 22, 1943, 7:30 a.m. Bangalore, India. The time zone is 5 hours 30 minutes east of GMT, 77 degrees 35 minutes east, 12 degrees 59 minutes north. So that is the data. What name shall I save that? Okay. Chandra. I hope I am spelling it right. Yes? Okay, SHCK. Chandrasekhar. So he has debilitated sun in Lagna. Okay. Lagna is 22 degrees 41 minutes Libra and moon is at 15 degrees 41 minutes Cancer. Okay. So the question is, when did the event happen? So an event happened which you have to guess and he will give you the date and time or date. January 14, 1990? 1980. Okay. So I'll put whatever calculations you want. So you can drive it. What do you want to see first? He was born on October 22, 1943. So if you want to see the annual chart, you have to see the previous year, 1979. Do you want to do that? Do you want to see the annual previous chart of 79? Actually, I told you to drive, but I'm driving it, so I'll let you drive. Now what do you want? He was what?
27 years old.
Yeah, it's a good idea to check the age. If it's 25, maybe marriage. You can see, if you want, I can, in a different window, I can open Kiran. But he is not January. He is not January 14. He has siblings. Hey. Okay, the Hora Lord, seriously, the Hora Lord on the day was Saturn. At the time was Saturn. The Chitravesh happened on November 12, 1979 at 10:20 p.m. at Bangalore. Saturn was the ruler of the year, and this is the chart. The chart has Gemini rising. Rasi chart has Gemini rising with Mandi in Lagna, and third house has 3 planets: Mars, Moon, Jupiter, Rahu. Saturn in the 4th house, Sun debilitated in the 6th house, Venus Lakshmi in the 6th house, Ketu in the 9th house. You want the Dacha. The Tithi Ashtotri Dacha running at the time of 1980, what was the date? January 14th. Pongal. Just Mars Dacha started.
So it's going to be
Good question. We have a lot of confidence in Kiran. He's certified by you. Yeah. Kiran checked all the events in the life and everything matched. If you are unable to solve the puzzle, and then after you know the answer, if you want to change the time, then we can go back and correct his situation. So you have that escape route. So let's take it for granted that this time explained by Kiran is accurate. Actually here the leeway we have is 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes. So let's just accept it.
Mars in third house is good. So I'm seeing Mars with a possibly this must be given, but on a positive note.
You want to see the longitudes of all the planets? Moon at 7 degrees, 8th degree of Leo, Mars in the 4th degree of Leo, Jupiter in the 14th degree of Leo, Rahu in the 11th degree of Leo. So Jupiter and Rahu are very closely conjoined, and Moon and Mars are reasonably close. Actually, Rahu is afflicting both Mars and Jupiter very closely, not Mars, Moon. Rahu is afflicting Moon at 7 degrees and Jupiter at 13 degrees. He is in between those. So Rahu is badly afflicting both Moon and Jupiter here. There is a Galgesar Yoga, but both Moon and Jupiter are badly affected by Rahu, but Mars is there. And Mars is a little bit away from Rahu, and his conjunction is mainly with Moon. The closest planet to him is Moon. Yeah. So who is it? Yeah. That's good.
No, there are 4 planets over there, and if you put them in order of
Jupiter, Moon, Mars, and Rahu. So Moon and Mars will extend the results, and Jupiter and Rahu will extend the results. Okay. So we covered it in a previous class. So listen to the audio, or now you have a better way. Go to the book. Yeah, they will switch their results, except that one note of caution is you have to be careful with it. If I and Seshu are together, maybe I'll do his work, he'll do my work out of politeness, but if I and somebody I hate are together, then we may not really switch. So you have to keep that in mind. So there may be some exceptions, but most of the time, what?
Seshu is elevated to Sriram's status today.
Because Sriram is not here. So, in general, that is the thumb rule given by the classes. Yes, irrespective of the degree. Just the natural beneficence will count. No, natural beneficence of the planet. Arrange them in the order of natural beneficence. So most benefic planet will be first. Next benefic planet will be next. And if you arrange like that, the worst malefic will be at the end. So once you arrange in that order, it's the first and last, second from last, third and third from last, and so on. Moon and Mars are switching. So Mars will primarily give Moon results. So what kind of results would you expect? First, because Kiran left it totally open-ended, and it's not, unless we go to the Vinshotri Dasha, do a lot of analysis, we can't really figure out. What I will ask you to do is, instead of giving the exact event, figure out if it's a positive or negative event at least. And then let's ask Kiran for some more guidance, and then you can go to the next step. So first, do you think it's a bad event or a good event?
Good event.
Just looking at Tithi Pravesh and Tithi Ashtotri Dasha, what do you expect?
It's giving a moon sequence, the second down in the second one.
Yeah.
I think this is a good event.
Okay, second lord in third house but affected by Rahu. With Rahu. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, the calculations may not be perfect. There can be a day error. But reasons that we don't. Right. So it could be at the end of moon also. It could be moon also. So it's either moon or Mars to that. Either way, is it a good event or a bad event? Yeah.
No, but in third house.
6th and 11th lord in the third house. Is it good or bad?
That is good. So either way, when it gives Mars result or moon result, it's a positive note.
Yeah. Any other thoughts? Well,
No.
not really. Yeah, Lagna is there and Moon and Mars are before Rahu. And Jupiter is on the other side. So Moon and Mars are on one side of Rahu, Jupiter is on the other side. So you absolutely don't have any yoga. Any Kalsarpa or Kalamrata yoga. Or Uchamsa. Yeah? He wants to see the Sahamas. Because he is not giving up yet. That's the spirit. So he wants to see the Sahamas. Do you want to see if anything is in Cancer or anything is close to those planets in Leo? So let's say we want to look for things in Leo. Do you see anything not in this screen? No Sahamas in Leo. Anything in Aquarius being aspected by the planets, 20 degrees. Let's say faraway aspect with the Sahamam. Anything else? Yeah, I already showed it. There is Metasama, very distant, not a very close aspect.
Because Harmonics are both in Navamsa and
Yeah, good point.
and it could be starting from Moon or Mars maybe.
Right. Okay. So, actually in Navamsa Rahu is there. It's not really Grahamalika Yoga. Especially 3 signs and 1 sign. 1 break and 1 sign. But in Rashi chart there are 4 signs. Usually we want 5, but 4 is also acceptable. So there is a Grahamalika Yoga being triggered by those planets in Leo. And it's ending with Venus and Mercury. There is a Raj Yoga, even though they are in the 6th house and Venus is in Manakarka Sthana, there is a Raj Yoga given by Lagna Lord and 6th Lord. How close are they? Venus is at 16 degrees, Mercury is at 11 degrees. So there is a reasonably strong Raj Yoga given by Lagna Lord and 6th Lord, Venus and Mercury. And because it involves the Lagna Lord, just as the ruler of the year, Lagna Lord is a very important planet. So that is very important. And there is a Grahamalika Yoga culminating in them. So actually, when you have a complete outlook for the year, is it a good year or a bad year? What is the outlook now, based on the Raj Yoga, Grahamalika Yoga, etc.? Forget the Moon Dasha, Mars Dasha, because sometimes a result may be given in a Dasha that you don't really completely expect. But overall, how is the year? So I asked you that. It's a good year. But all these planets, Moon and Jupiter, the second lord and 10th lord relating to career, money, those planets are afflicted by Rahu. Though Rahu is the ninth lord, he is not a functional malefic. He is a functionally benefit planet, but he is afflicting Moon and Jupiter. So there is something unpleasant there. There is some bad forces there. There is some Moon shows peace of mind, and he is being afflicted by 2 malefics, Mars and Rahu. So who is in Ashtamsa? In Shashtyamsa? Yeah. Where are you seeing Ashtamsa? Mars is in Ashtamsa. Yeah, D-16. Anyway, let's ignore that. So what is your overall sense of how this year is?
This Lagna is in 9th pillar of the Natal Lagna.
What is the Natal Lagna? Natal Lagna is Libra, right? So this Lagna is? Yeah, right. Hora Lord is in a quadrant. He is the 9th Lord. Even though he is 8th Lord, also 9th is stronger. So overall, would you expect a good year? And there are nice yogas also. Brahmalka Yoga, Raj Yoga, culminating in Brahmalka Yoga, culminating in a Raj Yoga. And even
in 4th house also giving a Sukhalopa.
yes, Sukhalopa. If Saturn is in the 4th house, he robs the comfort. Wherever Saturn is, basically he depletes it. So if he is placed in any good houses, he will basically deplete those houses.
So moon assisting by Rahu and Saturn in 4th house, possibly this is giving some kind of mental tension or a worry.
As far as mother is concerned, his mother, if she is alive at that time, his mother and his happiness, etc., things relating to moon, things relating to 4th house. Yeah, for peace of mind, moon is Karaka. He is in the 12th house from 4th house, and he is afflicted by Mars and Rahu. So as far as mental peace is concerned, would you expect it to be a great year? No. Even if Kiran later tells us that he was very happy during that year, based on astrology, we will just be honest. We will say what we feel. So based on what we know, this is a year in which there will be some achievements. It will be a good year overall, but there will not be peace of mind. There will be good things happening around him, but no peace of mind. So is there something everybody agrees on? You also, Kiran? Trick to you. Yeah? That's not a big deal. First of all, if there is a Papakatri on Lagna or any important house, with important, Hora Lord, don't worry about the Papakatri on him. And in any case, it's not really Papakatri. Sunny is a Papa Graha, but he is not as Papa as Mars, Rahu, Ketu, etc. And on the other side, you have Mars and Rahu, but you also have Moon and Jupiter. So, when Moon and Jupiter are there on one side of the planet, don't be biased by the Papakatri. So, that's not a big deal. But nevertheless, having a 4th house is afflicted, Moon is afflicted, so no mental peace. And now, how is Venus? See, he is giving a Raj Yoga, that is good. But 5th Lord, also 12th Lord, that is a different point, but he is in Manakaraka Sthana. 10th Lord, Jupiter is in Manakaraka Sthana. 10th Lord, Jupiter is in Manakaraka Sthana. So there is no happiness during that year. And the 10th and 7th Lord is in Manakaraka Sthana, and 5th and... So some unfortunate event relating to 5th house, 12th house, 10th house, 7th house is possible. Is it? Do you agree? For me? Because the lords of the 12th, 5th, 7th and 10th houses are in Manakaraka Sthana. So there can be some unfortunate event relating to wife, relating to career, etc. So is that something everybody agrees on? Now, 7th Lord is in Manakaraka Sthana and Venus, the Karaka, is in 6th house, is in the 12th house from it. So is it a good year? Based on the Rashi chart alone, is it a good year for his wife? Is it a good year for his wife? Okay. So that is one thing. There are some afflictions. Also, another possibility is 5th Lord is in Manakaraka Sthana. So something bad happening to children, some bad events, accident or something happening to children is a possibility. But even though the 5th Lord is in Manakaraka Sthana, 5th Lord is joining Lagna Lord, he is giving a Raj Yoga. When the 5th Lord is giving a Raj Yoga, 5th house is unlikely to be disturbed. Whereas 7th Lord, he is not only in Manakaraka Sthana but closely afflicted by Rahu, 11 degrees, and he is at basically 3 degrees different. So Jupiter being in Manakaraka Sthana and being with Rahu, there is a chance that it is something relating to 7th or 10th houses. Right? Now let's see Navamsa and let's see Dashamsa. First let us look at the career. What do you expect in career during the year? The ruler of the year, Shani, is well placed in the 3rd house. and the moon is badly placed. He is in Manakarka Sthana. Fifth Lord moon is in the 8th house in Manakarka Sthana. So some problems with recognition of abilities, etc. in career is possible. But is the 10th house strong? Or Lagna and 10th house reasonably strong? The Lagna and 10th Lord is in 10th house, giving Hamsa Yoga. So Jupiter is actually in Dashamsa, he is quite strong. Even though in Rashi he is the 10th Lord in Manakarka Sthana, he is not bad in Dashamsa. He is quite strong. Except that he is being afflicted by Venus. He is not happy being afflicted by Venus because Venus is the 8th Lord and an enemy. So an enemy and the 8th Lord is joining 10th Lord in career. So there can be some changes or unexpected events in career, in profession. So that's what you can say based on this conjunction of Venus and Jupiter. But overall it's not that bad. So 7th house and 5th house, these are the other afflictions that we considered. How is 7th house? Now let's see the Navamsa. In Navamsa, if you see the 7th house, how is 7th house? Again, 7th Lord is in Manakarka Sthana. Even though he is trying to protect it in the 9th house from it, he is trying to protect the marriage. He doesn't want to do anything bad to the marriage. But he is in Manakarka Sthana. He is in a place where he can't afford to take care of that house. Normally, if Jupiter is in the 9th house from his own house, he will protect that house. But here he is placed in Manakarka Sthana, so he has to give 3rd house result so much, which he is uncomfortable giving, that he has to ignore these other houses. So the protection to the 7th house from Jupiter is withdrawn. And Venus, the Karaka, is he well disposed from Sagittarius so that he can take care of it? He is in the 12th house from it, and also Karaka, Venus is also in Manakarka Sthana. So that is another undesirable feature. And from the Sagittarius, if you see, as far as marriage is concerned, how is the year? Jupiter is protecting it, Venus is fine, Mercury is fine, Sun is fine, Moon is actually not good. 8th Lord in the 7th house. From the 7th house, taking the marriage as Lagna, the 8th Lord is in the 7th house, Margasthana Moon, and Rahu is in the 8th house.
Why is in 7th house? Why is he not taking 7th Lord as
I can do all those, but I just want to see the 7th house. To see marriage, and I don't want to say something about the wife. I want to see something about the marriage. Because first marriage has to be seen and then wife, what about wife? The main thing is, if there is no marriage, something happens to marriage, there is no wife. So first see the 7th house. Don't directly jump to 7th Lord. So from 7th house, Shani and Ketu are quite strong in the 2nd house. This is a Margasthana. And Rahu, a malefic, is in the 8th house. So there are afflictions. So out of all the afflictions that we saw in the Rashi chart, when we narrowed down using Navamsa and Dashamsa, the thing that seems possible, maybe not in that exact period I am not 100% sure, but during that year, does it seem possible that something may happen to wife or something that may happen to the marriage? Is there a chance that year is basically a bad year as far as marriage is concerned? Now let's go back to the Dasha. So Moon and Mars, what kind of results can they give? Yeah. So anybody wants to add any thoughts before we will ask Kiran to give a clue? Right. We didn't talk about the 5th house. So let us see the 5th and 12th houses. So the 5th house. The 5th house has debilitated Sun, the 3rd Lord, and also the Karaka for children is in Manakarka Sthana and 5th Lord is in Manakarka Sthana. So let us see Saptamsa. How is Saptamsa? Do you see any afflictions in the Saptamsa? Yeah, Lagna Lord Jupiter is in the 12th house. How many children did he have at that time? How many? 3 children. Okay. So he had 3 children. Can you say something about the first child? Leaving the puzzle aside, just as an exercise. Can you say something about the first child? How do you see the first child? Yeah, in the Tithi Pravesha. Just the same rules, except that you don't say, oh, Ketu, break. That is determined based on the natal chart. So, if you know that there are 3 children, for each child take the 5th house, 7th house, 9th house, that's it. So, standard principles. So, if you take the 5th house, that's what I was saying. How many children are there? What is their sex? It doesn't change from year to year. You see that from the natal chart. What? Then there are 4. There are 4. So there were 4 children. The first one did not survive, apparently. So there are 4 children, and as far as this particular chart is concerned, you may not even see one child in this chart, or you may not even see 2 children, but still he has 4 children because natal chart transfers them. So you can see each child here. The first child is seen by taking Aries. So the Lord Mars is in Leo. So Leo is the reference for the first child. Now for the second child, Cancer. 7th house, that is Gemini. Lord is in Cancer, Mercury. So take Cancer as the Lagna for the second child. Third child, how do you see the third child? Yes, take Aries. Take Aries as Lagna. So Leo, Cancer, Aries. Next child is 5, 7, 9, 11. Libra. Libra Lord is Venus. So again Leo. Take Leo as the reference. So if you do this, does any of those charts show anything unfortunate? Because we saw that 5th house has some weakness. 6th Lord is in Manakarka Sthana and Jupiter is in Manakarka Sthana. We want to see if there is any misfortune relating to children. What?
They have to be there.
Why?
You know, the Karada for children is in Manakarka.
Yeah.
And the House Lord.
House Lord is in Manakarka. Yeah. And the House Lord from Jupiter is also in Manakarka. The 5th Lord from Jupiter is Jupiter himself. He is in Manakarka. You want to see Putra Sahamam now because we are talking about children. Let's see Vivaha Sahamam and Putra Sahamam. Both. Where are those? I think I should arrange them alphabetically. Vivaha Sahamam is in Aries. Just note that. As far as marriage is concerned, it is in Aries. So Lord is Mars. Okay. Putra Sahamam. It should be towards the end. No? You already found it? Okay. Gemini. Putra Sahamam is in Gemini. Okay. So 5th Lord and Putra Sahamam Lord are together. Is there any possibility of any misfortune relating to children? Yeah. 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 But is Ketu's affliction of Sun and Mars good? So the 5th house is the controlling house. Forget which child. If you step back and say overall happiness with children, the 5th house is the controlling house, and in that house you have an affliction of Ketu. That house is afflicted by Ketu, either Sun or Mars. He is being afflicted by Ketu. There is a Grahana of Sun there. So does it show some concern relating to children during that year? Yeah. Which child may it be? Okay. He said that the first one did not survive. So it could be the third one, you are saying? Okay. Any other thoughts before we'll ask Kiran to give some more hints so that we can focus? Any other thoughts? 3 to go. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, Kiran, you want to give them any hints? With respect to? Him. Not wife or children or anything. What? Yeah. On the day. Yeah.
But in this area,
So,
that is related
he's saying himself. Okay. His health basically. Yeah. Okay. If something happened relating to his health, is it good or bad? Of course, the very hint suggests that it is bad. But is it possible? Can you reconcile that there was something, some ill health or anything? Is it possible? Yeah. Or did he recover from ill health and become healthy? Can you see anything like that? 8th Lord is in? Okay, let's just go back to the Rashi chart. And in the Rashi chart, second Lord in the 3rd house is a Marka. So, so your guess is that some health problems? Yeah. Basically, the friction that we noted of Moon there, and also Mars is the 6th Lord in 3rd house, but again he is with all these companies, Rahu, etc. Had Mars 6th Lord been in 3rd alone, it would have been good, but he is with other. Even though there is distance with Rahu, all his friends are afflicted by Rahu there. And also Moon, 2nd Lord is in 3rd house, afflicted by Rahu, very closely afflicted by Rahu. So is it possible that there will be some ill health? Can we go to Shodasamsa for that case? Because we focused on the Manakarka planets, but if we see the basic afflictions also, then there is. Okay. Okay. Before you ask him. Yeah. Yeah. Is it relating to health? Okay, see Shodasamsa. Because this is the chart. If something happens to the body, ill health or some body part lost or anything like that, anything relating to body, you see it in the Shodasamsa chart. Apart from Rashi. Rashi shows the overall physical existence and this shows the problem.
He is having donated some body parts, but then he fell ill after.
Creative, but let's see the Shodasamsa. Let's see the Shodasamsa. Let's see the Shodasamsa. What?
Almost a
He can tell you the event also, but
when you were saying when accident, almost a yes.
Okay, so your guess is accident. But
not that.
Okay. Okay, is accident possible then? Let's take the hypothesis that he nearly nodded his head to accident. Now, is it possible? First of all, Mars is the 6th Lord and affected by Rahu in the Rashi chart, and he is aspecting A6. He is the 6th Lord and he is aspecting A6. Yeah. Normally, Lagna Lord in 6 is not that bad for Mercury. But Scorpio is a very evil sign. So, possible, but more than that, Mars being afflicted by Rahu and Mars aspecting the A6, there is some chance. Now, see Shodasamsa, if you want to know if there was an accident. If it was a vehicular accident, Shodasamsa is the key. And if it is just any other kind of accident. In either case, Shodasamsa is an important chart. And if it is a vehicular accident, D-16 should also be seen. So see this. Is there a chance of accident? Yeah. Okay. See, basically, in the D6, any problems to the existence of the person, like ill health or accident or somebody coming and fighting with him, all these things you see in D6. And the controlling houses are, the bad houses are 6th and 8th. So see if there is any. The Dasha that we saw at the time was Mars. And how is Mars? He's in the 8th house. Should we say that because he is in one sign, he will give Sarala Yoga results? He will become very straightforward in health matters. Should we see yogas like Hasha Yoga, Sarala Yoga, Viparita Raj Yogas in D6? Not only that, what I was going to say is if 8th Lord is in 8, in Rasi chart you may say, well, it's not bad. But in D6 it is bad. If the 8th Lord is in 6, normally in Rasi chart you may say, oh, Viparita Raj Yoga. But in the matter of ill health, it is a bad thing. It shows ill health. So if you see 6th Lord in 8, 8th Lord in 6, 6th and 8th Lord together in the 3rd house, things like that. Negative yogas like Viparita Raj Yoga, Sarala Yoga, Hasha Yoga, etc. If you see them in Shodasamsa chart, it's not that auspicious. But it's better than some other planet being there. Better than 7th Lord being in 8. 8th Lord being in 8 is better than 7th Lord being in 8. So, if we look at Mars, in Rasi he is 6th Lord aspecting A6, being with Rahu A6 Lord and etc. And in Shodasamsa he is in the 8th house. So there is a chance of some accident or some such undesirable event. Let's see if there is a chance of vehicular accident. 6th Lord is with Ketu, yeah. Yes, good point. Who is exalted? Oh, you are talking about D6. Sorry. Yes, 6th Lord is exalted and he is in a Marakasthana and he is aspecting that Mars. So that factor is there, yes. Yeah. There is a Parivartana. It can. When there is a Parivartana, the Saturn can act like Venus. So it may not be that bad, but still he is Saturn. But it is better than if Venus was somewhere else. It would have been even worse. It would have been very violent. Usually Mars-Saturn aspect shows very violent things, extremely violent things. And maybe because of Venus Parivartana, maybe it's less violent. But that Parivartana is interesting because Venus is the Karaka for vehicle. Let's see the D-16. Yeah, we are focusing on Mars now, yes. Let's see D-16 chart. This is the chart of vehicular pleasures and happiness, etc. from vehicles. We have 2 minutes 46 seconds delay. So let's assume that this is right. Let's assume Kiran did a good job. So is there any chance of accident based on this? Why strong? Is there any chance of accident based on this chart? Any chance of vehicular accident during this year? Something happening to his vehicle? Yeah, but Mars is a functional benefit. He is the 9th Lord. So Lagna Lord and 9th Lord are in mutual aspect. Usually for accident, 6th and 8th are the key houses. Yeah, D-16. So 6th Lord Sun is in 3rd house. 8th Lord Venus is in 2nd house. So you see any vehicular accident? Venus is affecting his own house maybe, but do you see any violent thing happening to vehicle?
How does the Hora Lord come into picture?
Hora Lord, see if he is well placed. Any yoga or duryoga that you see, if the Hora Lord is associated with it, then it has a very good chance of giving this result. Otherwise the yoga, good or bad yoga, may not give its result. See, for example, if you see the Navamsya, I said that Hora Lord Saturn is Maraka in Marakasthana from the 7th house. So some problem in the marriage is possible. So there Hora Lord D is involved. So there is a chance that may happen. But if you see the D7, children, the Hora Lord is not, we saw Ketu afflicting Sun, etc. Hora Lord is not involved. So it may not give it result or may not give it to the fullest. It may give it minimally or not give at all. Whereas if you see the D6, what did we say here? The 6th Lord Saturn is aspecting 8th Lord Mars in the 8th house. So that shows some concern, big concern relating to health, some serious concern relating to health. It could be litigation also. D6 shows litigation, quarrels with people fighting with you, etc. This shows basically other beings basically giving you trouble. Yeah, very good idea. If it is an evil event, D-30 will have to have some link. So see the D-30. Actually, Navamsa shows the blessing and D-30 shows the opposite of it. Basically, lack of blessings and negative things sitting on your head. So if you want to see any evils and any suffering or any suffering that you have to get, any punishment you have to get for your past evils, this is the key chart. So how is Mars here?
Now actually the Lagna and
Usually this one is more accurate. So actually don't rely on this because this is a non-linear chart. Lagna doesn't move at a regular pace. One Trimsamsa is 5 degrees, another is 6 degrees like that. So but because we are at the end of the sign, basically if you look at the next one, it's basically 1 minute. 1 minute later it will change. Just like the Rashi chart. If Rashi changes, Trimsamsa changes. Why is it saying 5 minutes, 29 seconds? It's confusion. Okay, there's something. Yes. But he is in Manakarka Sthana. And Bhadaka Lord, Sun is in Lagna. Overall, for anything happening to the person, anything happening to the person's body, in the Trimsamsa chart, I'm talking about natal chart, but it can be applied to TP chart also, to the Pravesh also. In natal chart, when you see Trimsamsa, when you see physical suffering because of subconscious evils, all physical suffering comes because of subconscious reasons. And subconscious reasons come because of your karma. So if you are feeling angry about somebody, that will result in certain your heart problem or something. If you are feeling depressed about something, that may result in certain kind of heart problem or some other problem. Your digestion may be bad, you may be anxious. So there are various physical manifestations of subconscious evils. But the subconscious evils and their manifestation are seen in Trimsamsa. And one thing that Sanjay ji teaches is, Rahu and Ketu are the key in D-30. See the house they occupy. See the planets that they afflict. If they are afflicting Akasha Tattva, it is bad. That year shows very, very bad events. If they are afflicting the Agni Tattva, that means they are in Martian sign. See, remember that in this Trimsamsa, no planet can be in Cancer Leo. Those are off limits to all planets. I'm going to repeat it in a different way, so just pay attention. You can write down later. In this Trimsamsa chart, no planet will be in Cancer or Leo. They will all be in the other 10 signs. And you can note that these two signs, Mercury's signs, Gemini and Virgo, they show Bhutatva. They show weakness in the Bhutatva in the first one. And the two signs owned by Venus, they show affliction to the Jalatattva. Two signs owned by Mars will show affliction to the Agni Tattva. Two signs owned by Jupiter show affliction to the Akasha Tattva. Two signs afflicted by Saturn will show affliction to the Vayu Tattva, A in the first one. So, if somebody, for example, has Rahu and Ketu in, let's say, Virgo, what kind of problems do you expect? Bhutatva. So, what would you expect? What are the possibilities? First, let's say physically. You can say physically, mentally, subconsciously, there are so many, but physical, let's focus on physical, because it's easy to relate to. Physically in the body, what is the part of the body that is purely Bhutatva? Skin. Okay, any other guesses? Skeleton, you mean bones. Bones, yes. The thumb rule is, again, thumb rules don't work always, but this thumb rule works reasonably. Assuming you use the right data. Vishwatri works most of the time. So, if Rahu and Ketu in the natal chart are in Mercury sign, that person may have some broken bones or some problem with bones sometime in life. And if you see that in the annual chart, if it is there in the natal chart and also if you see the same thing in a particular year's annual chart, you should be cautious. You should be concerned that there may be breakage of bones, etc. And that is particularly so if not only Rahu and Ketu are there, but they are afflicting some key planets. If they are not afflicting anybody, it may not be that bad. But if Rahu and Ketu are afflicting a key planet in the Trimsamsa chart, and they are in Mercury sign, there may be breakage of bones. If they are in Libra or Taurus, what can you expect? Jalatattva. So what are Jalatattva problems? Pardon me? Maybe blood related issues. blood cancer, or to make it simpler, blood pressure increase in a particular year. So things relating to blood, things relating to other fluids like semen, etc. And if it is Martian, what? Depression is relating to mind. Mind is Jagannatha. Certain liquids in the mind cause depression. I mean lack of them. For example, the marrow in the nerves, the marrow that conducts the electric signal, that is Jagannatha. So it can be depression also. So some depletion or some weakness is there in the Jagannatha in the person. Physically, mentally, and as a result subconsciously. Actually not as a result. They are all linked. You can't say this is because of this. They all go together. So physically, mentally and subconsciously there will be some Jagannatha problems. Similarly, if they are in Aries or Scorpio, Agni-tattva. So, yeah. Again, if there is Agni-tattva problem, it can result in blood pressure like you are saying, or it can result in more than blood pressure. It can be heart is transforming a lot of things. The metabolism may have some problems. The thinking process again is Agni. There may be some problems. Suppose somebody went lunatic. It can be Jagannatha as well as Agni-tattva. Both of them are involved. Or digestion, like you said, that's a very good guess. Because digestion is nothing but Agni. It is transforming something into something else. Agni is basically nothing but something that transforms something from one state to another state. So there can be problems in the metabolism, there can be problems in the digestion. So there are various problems relating to Agni, or heart problems. And Vayu, what kind of problems can be caused by Vayu? Several Vata disorders, anxiety, and breathing. There can be breathing problems if Vayu is afflicted, and so on. Finally, Akasha. There is no specific thing given for Akasha. All other things you can give specific things. Air, breathing, liquid, water, blood, like that. Earth, bones, like that you can give clear signification for each tattva. But Akasha is that for which there is no one thing. But it is the one that puts everything together. Without Akasha, earth is earth, water is water, air is air, Agni is Agni. They are all in different places. They don't come together to exist harmoniously and create this particular entity. So Akasha is that binds everything together. Like Vishnu. Among the Panchaloka Palakas who rule various elements, Vishnu is the one for Akasha. Leo. There are no planets in Cancer Leo. This version of D-30. There are 3 variations of D-30. This is the D-30 Parasara chart. So in this D-30 shows the weaknesses in the body, the vulnerabilities of the person. And there are 3 D-30s given in the software. One is Parivritti Trimsamsa, the other one is Shashtyamsa like Trimsamsa. Parivritti Trimsamsa shows the evils that the person continues to do. So these are the evils that you are doing now. And Shashtyamsa like Trimsamsa shows the sufferings obtained because of all the past evils. So, depending on what you want to see. Suppose there is an allegation on somebody and you want to guess whether he actually did something. Suppose somebody is accused of murdering somebody and you think that he did not do that. Check the Parivritti based Trimsamsa. That shows the evil. I believe we saw the chart when the Kanchi seer was arrested. We saw his and also Jayalalitha's chart. We saw the Parivritti Trimsamsa to see if there was any chance of doing evil, and we found certain things which are recorded in a previous audio. So I will not mention it again, but so to see what the person, the evils that the person is still doing, if that is your interest, the Parivritti based Trimsamsa. If you want to see, is he getting any suffering because of the evil? Is there any suffering that is due in this particular year or particular 2 years? Based on natal dashas or the Pravesh chart, then you see Shashtyamsa like Trimsamsa. And if you just want to see what are the weaknesses, is there a blood problem related possible this year? Is there a bone problem possible this year? If you want to find out the vulnerabilities during a year of the person, then see this. So here, The Akash Tattva is afflicted by Rahu and Ketu. Not only that, Jupiter, who is in Manakaraka Sthana, he is afflicted by Rahu and Ketu. Jupiter being together with Rahu and Ketu is a bad yoga. It's a Manushya Hatya yoga. It's basically a terrible yoga. And so Akash Tattva as well as the planet of Akash Tattva are being badly affected by nodes in Sagittarius. So there is a chance that something serious happens to the person during this year. Yeah. Sagittarius normally shows far from height. But I'm not sure how well it's applicable in Trimsamsa. I'm not sure. But definitely that's a good point. Now if you see the Shashtamsa like Trimsamsa, are there any sufferings during the year because of evil? If you see that, how is Mars? The Mars which I was running, how is Mars?
But at this time we don't apply the Agni Tattva of Sagittarius.
No. When I said the Tattvas, those are based on the rulers. So that is why I said Mercury signs Bhutattva problems. Venus signs Jal Tattva problems. Similarly, Jupiter signs Akash Tattva problems. Period. Okay. So is there based on all these, is there a chance of some accident, but probably not a vehicular accident? Is there a good summary of what you guys came up with? Okay, Kiran, any further hints? Or you want to say the answer? Yeah. Okay. So let's see the Vimshotri Dasha. So he wants us to see the annual, or from the annual chart, see the natal chart also. So see the natal Vimshotri Dasha. So that was 1980. What? Venus Jupiter. Venus Jupiter. Okay. Venus Jupiter. What can you see from Venus Jupiter? Jupiter is, what kind of results can Venus give? Okay, first Jupiter. Let's focus on Antardasha Lord, because this is we don't know the impact of this event. Is this a lifelong, is it an event with big lifelong impact, or is it an event that had an impact for a year or a couple of years? So let's focus on, because we don't know, let's focus on the Antardasha that was running at that time, Jupiter. What kind of results can Jupiter give? Jupiter is, do you see anything special about Jupiter? Good, exalted. Is it good for Jupiter to be exalted? The third and sixth lord from Libra Lagna, if he is exalted, is it good or bad? Jupiter is the sixth lord, he is exalted. Okay. And is he afflicted by anybody? Moon and Rahu are very close, but they are not that close to Jupiter. But Rahu is closer than Moon. So he has some affliction of Rahu. What else do you see? Is there anything special about Jupiter? Atmakaraka. Are Atmakaraka's dashas and Antardashas usually good? They are the periods of tribulation. Okay. And here, apart from being Atmakaraka, is there something special about Jupiter's placement?
He is in both delicacy and
anything else? Look at his degree. Anything special about his degree? He is in Gandanta. Jupiter is in Gandanta. He is in the last degree of Cancer. He is in the border between fire and water. The border between Pisces and Aries, Cancer and Leo, Scorpio and Sagittarius is called Gandanta. So he is in Aslesha Gandanta. He is so close to the border. The whole Navamsa, last Navamsa and the first Navamsa, those two Navamsas are called Gandanta, but the last degree of Cancer and the first degree of Leo are particularly bad. So he is in a very terrible placement. That too, he is at the fag end of the sign. Any planet, Rahu, Jupiter, Moon, even Lagna,
If Lagna is in Gandanta, that is terrible too. When Lagna Last Dasha comes, there can be some big accident. So now Jupiter is not only a functional malefic, but he is in Gandanta. So now if you see, it's an important event. Let's assuming that the event that happened on 1980, January 14, is a key event of this, is a representative event of this whole Antardasha. Would you expect it to be a bad event or good event now? If you saw this Antardasha before we went to annual chart, would you have concluded Jupiter to give a big blow? Because he is in Gandanta, he is a functional malefic in Gandanta, affected by Rahu. Should he give Rahu's result or will he not give Rahu's result? It's tricky to judge whether Jupiter and Rahu will explain their results or not. But it's unlikely that Jupiter will become friendly with Rahu and say, okay dude, I'll give you your result, come on. It's unlikely that Jupiter will say that. So it's likely that Jupiter and Rahu will end up giving their own result. So if Jupiter gives his own result, he is 3rd and 6th lord in Gandanta, extreme Gandanta. He is 9 arc minutes away from the border between Cancer and Leo. So can you conclude that the event is some negative event? And because he is the 6th lord, could it be an accident? And let's see the Shodasamsa, D-16. Whatever we saw in the natal Siddhipravesh chart earlier, let's go back to the natal chart and see it.
Could you also think about, because what's happening in the 10th house is something related to workplace or something?
It could. If you suspect that, go to the Shodasamsa and verify that. It could. So, in the Shodasamsa, is it possible that Jupiter would show some big blow? Yeah. He is the 8th lord in the 8th house and he is with Mars. 8th house will show sudden things, sudden injuries or something suddenly that happens. And he is with Mars, the planet of suddenness. Who is A6 lord? Okay. Mars is also A6 lord and Jupiter is A8 lord. So A6 lord and A8 lord are together in the 8th house. And to add insult to injury, Mars is Bhargesha. So Bhargesha is in the 8th house. And the Jupiter is giving the Bhargesha result. Jupiter will actually give Mars result as far as D6 matters are concerned, as far as fighting or being fought or being hit, etc. is concerned. So it can be a terrible hit. That's what Mars, Bhargesha in the 8th house can give. So, based on Siddhipravesh and this, reconciling everything, can you say that it was some injury or some physical blow? Earlier somebody suggested voluntary donation of body parts. What? Yeah, I said it was creative. Is it possible based on this? No. Whatever happened, is it likely to be a sudden event? Yeah. Okay. Anybody wants to add anything else or can Kiran have the final word? Actually, I just want to check one thing, just for my satisfaction. Kritika and the south, under the south, okay. In this also shows a bad Moon and Rahu and Ketu, 6th house, okay. Okay, shall we let Kiran, any other final thoughts? The idea is, on 1980, January 14, something happened to his father, and the chart is here. What is it? And the guess so far is something, some bad health or some accident or some injury, sudden injury or something. What? Yeah. Exchange is based on the idea that a bad guy and good guy are together. They will pick up each other's habits. But if they don't see each other to the eye, they won't pick up each other's habits.
How do you see eye to eye with Rahu, at least except Venus? And how will they see the
They are unlikely to exchange.
anybody other than
If you see Ravi Rahu, for example, Sun and Rahu, you don't exchange their results. If you see Jupiter and Rahu, you don't exchange their results. But there may be some mediator. Suppose Mercury, Rahu and Jupiter are together. Then that Mercury may be a mediator. Then there may be an exchange of results. But here there is no mediation. Rahu is coming and trying to track both Moon and Jupiter. And both of them are so repelled by him that they say go away. Pardon? Well, not to Rahu. He is neutral, but when Jupiter says I hate that guy, then Moon won't say, well, let him try to understand him and be like him. He won't say that. Whereas Mercury will, come on teacher, be like him. See, there is something good in him, I see it. And then teacher will, out of his love for the student, teacher will live with the cloak and try to emulate him. So, if you have Mercury there, maybe, but not with Moon. So, it's unlikely that there is an exchange in a case like this. Or let's say Sun, Jupiter and Rahu are together. Or Sun, Moon and Rahu are together. It's unlikely that there is an exchange in such cases. Somebody has to convince Jupiter to be like Rahu. Convincing Rahu to be like Jupiter is a separate thing. When there are Rahu and Ketu, you have to be careful. And there is no clear thumb rule. I can give you that works perfectly. You have to use your intuition in such cases. Yes, yes. But if you, one thumb rule I can tell you is, if Rahu is alone, not alone, with just one other planet, the other planet being Jupiter or Moon or Sun, don't exchange with us. That I can tell you. If there is a third planet, things become complicated, third or fourth planet, and then it's tricky. But with just two planets, Rahu and one of these three important planets, Jupiter, Sun and Moon. Even Mars may be willing to exchange results with Rahu, but Jupiter, Moon and Sun will never exchange results with Rahu. Especially if two of them are joined Rahu, then it definitely won't happen. Yes? Let's say Jupiter, Mars and Rahu are there, then it's more tricky. I can't tell you. I have to look at the situation there. See who are aspecting them, who is their Lord, is he friend to Rahu. Based on those things, you have to make a heuristic decision. But in this case, Moon is in one house, he doesn't like Rahu. Jupiter is in friend's house, he is happy, he is having a nice party there. One guy is relaxed at home, and another guy is having a cool party, he is excited, and Rahu gate crashes. He is going to be totally ignored by them. But of course, they are going to be irritated, but they won't say, okay, come, give me your clothes, take my clothes and wear them. It won't happen.
One more thing is Jupiter is in the 12th house.
Yeah.
It's not in the 12th house.
Jupiter is in 12th house from Venus.
From Venus. The Maharishi.
Yeah.
So it could be like something about the hospitalization or something.
Good point. Yeah. His point is, taking Venus as Lagna, from Venus, Jupiter is the 8th and 5th lord, is the 12th house. So, there can be some hospitalization, etc. If there is an injury, assuming that during that period there was an injury, what part of the body is possible? Assuming. Just assuming. He hasn't answered in positive, but assuming that's the case, what would you get? Just theoretically, what would you get? Which body part can be Jupiter in Gandanta, assuming that he will do something to your body part? Which body part will he choose?
You take the natural. No. Yeah, it's in the third or sixth, right? But Jagannatha is happening between Cancer and Leo.
No, I'm saying Jupiter, because he is in Gandanta and he is the third and sixth lord, we decided that Jupiter will give some problem to some body part, some injury somewhere. Which part will be affected by Jupiter? I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but the rule is the thumb rule. This is father's chart, not Kiran. This is father's chart. We are not looking from his chart about his father. Okay, now you are clear? That's why we are in Rashi, otherwise we would be in Shodasamsa. Okay, so the rule is, when you see problem given by the 8th lord, see the sign that he is occupying. let's say, in this case, 8th Lord is Venus. Which sign is he in? Leo. Leo is the 5th sign of the natural zodiac. So it is stomach. So some problem relating to 5th house, stomach, digestion, etc. That's what Venus would give.
So you would always see house from the natural zodiac?
For 8th Lord. For 6th Lord, you see the house from Lagna. For both are possible, but for 8th Lord, house based on natural zodiac is more dominant. For 10th Lord, for 6th Lord, house based on the Lagna, that particular Lagna, that house is more dominant. So when 6th Lord, you see 6th Lord, Santadasha or Dasha running, and you expect some problem, some injury or something, then look at which house he is occupying. 10th house. Which body part does 10th house show? Sides are 9th house. 10th house is knee region, but basically in general legs. If you want to be very specific and be wrong, you say knee. If you want to increase your probability of being right, you say legs. Let's just go through the body part. What does Lagna show? First house? Head. Second house? Face. Face, eyes, etc. Now, third house? Yeah, shoulders, good, and throat, etc. I'm just talking about body part. Speech is not a body part. Now, fourth house? Heart, chest, etc. Part of the chest is part of third house, the other part is in the fourth house. Heart and surrounding is fourth house. Fifth house? Stomach, digestive system. And sixth house? No, you are jumping too fast. There is more. Lower abdomen. Lower abdomen, colon, intestines, etc. That is sixth house. Whereas fifth house is the upper digestive system. Then, and liver is actually, liver comes in the sixth house, by the way, not in the fifth house. Now, liver is in sixth house. Yeah, just the stomach is, yeah, that is sixth house. Liver is in the sixth house. Pancreas, intestines, that is sixth house. Now, seventh house. Seventh house? Yeah. Yeah, eighth house is the Gushangas according to Parasara. So those are the hidden parts, anus and the genitals, that is the eighth house. And seventh house is the part above it. So it is basically, if you are talking about somebody, if somebody comes to you with a uterus problem or something, that is seventh house. So the inner organs relating to the reproductive system are in the seventh house, but the outer organs and also the anus, that is from the eighth house. And ninth house is thighs. Ninth house is thighs, and 10th house is knees. 11th house is calves as well as ankles. This is the 11th house. 12th house is feet. So these are the various houses. So here, if we just have to throw a stone, if in any Jupiter Antardasha any problem comes, it could be relating to the knees or the related areas, somewhere in the leg.
When you are considering except for the 8th Lord, the 6th Lord, how about 10th Lord? But anything else, you take this?
In general, you see houses.
From the natural zodiac?
No, from the Lagna.
From the Lagna.
But for 8th Lord, somehow the physician says that you see the natural zodiac. And it does work in a lot of stuff, yeah. But main problems are given by these two guys anyway, 6th Lord and 8th Lord. They are the main problem givers, relating to body. If somebody wants to break your body, it is 6th Lord and 8th Lord. They want to break your body. Bhagata may also want to break your body, but more than breaking it, he has fun confusing it. He wants to give problems that you can't figure out and you are confused. So that's what Bhagata loves doing. But 6th and 8th Lord, they just want to break it. They think, what's the point of having the body like? Just break it. So that's the island of 6th and 8th Lord. Okay, any other thoughts before Kiran will speak again and tell us to see something else, some other dasha?
Should we check from Marital?
From Aru Lagna, go ahead.
Aru Lagna is really connected to what we mean. It's not a physical happening to them.
Yeah. Anything else? Jupiter Antardasa. Bhoga is in the 9th house. So overall it's a good dasha. Overall it's a good dasha. Good dasha and Antardasa. Any other points? Okay, enough. So let Kiran reveal the answer. Yeah. Vehicular accident, okay.
But when the year ending, I did not because of the Marital.
Okay, so the lesson is when we saw the Vimshottari Dasha, when we saw, see, when you see, if you see any planet in a Gandanta like this, never ignore that because those planets will give something serious in life. Maybe not every Jupiter Dasha, not every Jupiter Antardasa, but one Jupiter Antardasa, when Jupiter is like that, even if you see Jupiter, see the irony of it. Jupiter is the greatest protector. He is the Jiva. But even he, when he is a male fix and he is in Gandana, actually forget male fix. Even if a planet is not male fix, not fixed lord, if any planet is in Gandanta, in that Antardasa, something serious is possible to the body, it is in Rashi. Very serious is possible. It's basically both. The border, the 1 degree on this side, 1 degree on that side. As a matter of fact, the real definition is not 1 degree, it is 1 Navamsa. 1 Navamsa in both sides is Gandanta. But 1 degree is even stronger, and here is not even 1 degree, it's less than 10 minutes. It's 9 minutes. So it is just, it's terribly close to Gandanta. When you see a planet terribly close to Gandanta, some mishap is likely during that other. So even if something else shows some other things, you are missing something else. If you see the natal chart and Vimshottari Dasha, you see such a thing in such a Jupiter, you should conclude that there is some problem. If such a person comes to you before Jupiter Antardasa, you should advise them some mantras. Mantras may or may not help when the effect is so bad. Because the Jupiter is also afflicted by Rahu, so not very closely. It's a reasonably close affliction. So it's unlikely that, and also he is a male fix. And also in Shodasamsa, he is in the 8th house. He owns A8, he is with the Lord of A6, with Pargesha Mars, that to Mars, the planet of suddenness. So, when you see the same thing being corroborated in the Shodasamsa, it's very unlikely that it will go, he will escape that particular Antardasa unscathed. Because somebody was born with this chart because he had certain karma. So you can't escape the karma completely, but you can advise them to do, for example, because it is Jupiter, he could have prayed to Mrityunjaya. If he did Mrityunjaya mantra for the previous 40 days, every day 108 times, maybe the accident would have been less intense one. That's all we can do as astrologers. We can't avoid it, but we can reduce the magnitude. So that's what we should try for. When somebody like that comes to you, you should try to give some remedies when he comes with thoughts. Because solving puzzles is good, but the real use is when somebody comes to you. And when somebody doesn't come to you and say, what happened to me in 82 guess? They will come, they will ask, I want to get a job. Will I get a job in the next month or next 10 months? You will see the chart and you will give advice. At the same time, if you see something like this, a planet in Gandanta, or some planet in Mankargasthana badly affected by Rahu, by 8th Lord or Vardakesha, then you should think that there is some evil possible during this Antardasha, then you should advise them to do some remedies. That's what we can do. And are there any other questions or any other angles you want to study this from? Okay, Kiran has studied it.
On one side, it was a 9 months of protection, so I figured that, it was such a life accident, he managed to get up it. So it happened in Saturn, it was a part that was very fast. There was a solution to put out. So it's very bad of my knowledge, but I figured that because now the itself is showing some things in there.
Yeah.
So I thought the possibility of something I had to launch out. I mean, not the Saturn, but Saturn is a
Okay, but you were explaining the event after you knew it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. See, Venus, he is the 8th Lord and he is also in Gurukrpa here. So, based on those two facts, you can conclude that Venus can give some problems. That is definitely possible. But he is also Lagna Lord. So, in Lagna Lord's Dasha, there is basic protection. Lagna Lord is always a protector. So, that protection is there. And if you ask me, there is another factor for Venus. More than being in AA, he is in the 3rd from AL. 3rd from AL is the one that actually shows the circumstances of death, circumstances of how the person dies, when he dies, etc. And Venus being there, a planet that is there, when the Dasha comes, there can be death-like experiences. There can be some experience close to death. So, that is another affliction. So, during Venus Dasha, there is a possibility. But if you see this chart and look for a planet who can give a big blow to the body, it is Jupiter in Kannanta, 6th Lord in Kannanta, period. And 6th Lord in the 10th house, so possible knee area is possible, theoretically. And there may be some approximation there, whatever Maharishi said, knee, calf, etc., there may be some approximation. It may extend to a nearby region. But you can expect, if you see 9th, 10th, 11th houses, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th houses, you can expect in the lower part of the body some serious problems. So when you see that Antardasha, you can conclude that there will be something bad. But the same Jupiter is Atmakaraka. When Atmakaraka's Dasha or Antardasha are running, that is unlikely. Even if there is a huge accident like falling from an aircraft basically collapsing or something, still the person may miraculously escape. Because Atmakaraka doesn't want the person to die. He wants the person to learn that this whole body is Maya. Body is not you. Mind thinks that body is me. And Atma is crying from inside, no, that's not you. The real me is here. Come, find me. That's what Atma is crying from the beginning. And when Atmakaraka is given control over you, he will try to teach you that body is not you and Atma is you. And he will try to do it in a negative way as far as body is concerned. But as far as Atma is concerned, it is a good way. But nevertheless, if he completely destroys the body so that there is no body, Atma has lost one opportunity. If there is more life, maybe you can do more karma and go to a higher loka than you were before. That is the whole purpose any soul takes birth again. So Atma is being deprived of that opportunity. So Atma, as long as there is something in his bank account, some karma, to keep the person alive, to do more karma, it will try to keep the person alive. So in general, Atmakaraka's Dasha and Antardasha are unlikely to kill a person. So forget the Prachanda Dasha, Saturn, etc. In general, Venus and Jupiter themselves, the Dasha Lord and Antardasha Lord, have the capability of causing harm, especially Jupiter more than Venus in my opinion. They have a chance to cause terrible harm, but neither of them wants to see the person's life end. Both of them want him to be alive. And as a matter of fact, Jupiter wants him to become very spiritual. And Jupiter will give such bad results which he thinks will make him more spiritual. Yeah, it's possible. See, when an accident happens because of some other planet, it is just an accident. When an accident happens because of Atmakaraka, it will be a life-changing accident. After that accident, the person's inner spirituality may basically awaken. The mind may become slightly more tuned to the Atma than the body. So of course all our minds are tuned to the body. We don't even know what our Atma is. We have never seen it, we have never felt it even in our meditation. We don't know the Atma. But as you become evolved, you perceive your Atma. But still identification is mostly with the body. But even little identification with Atma that makes a person very spiritual. And that is possible when Atmakarka's Antardasha is running or Atmakarka's Dasha is running. So Sthiti Pravesh gave some hints. We had Mars, the sixth lord, affected by Rahu, etc. We saw some negative. In D6, etc. also we saw some negative events. We saw some possibilities. But if you see the Vimshottari here, in this case, this is much stronger. Looking at the Jupiter and the Dasha, this is a much stronger indication than annual chart. So the lesson is, even though we are confident of Sthiti Pravesh, we should always be going back to the natal chart and the Dashas also. Yeah. Especially when the events that we see are not, they don't have anything to do with the roller of the year. You see a lot of yogas, etc. But roller of the year is not involved. Then maybe or may not be. That may or may not happen. So this will give you much clearer guidance. Yes. Yes. Go ahead.
As a rule, actually one Lagna Lord also is the Lord in the health.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the total both of them, but it's a reduced also. What happens in this case, for example, the Lagna Lord and eighth of Lord.
Yeah. Yeah.
So dominantly this is the Lagna and this will be the
Yeah, he will give both the results. That's what I can say. He will definitely give both the results. But in this case, Venus is in, he is Lagna Lord and 8th Lord and he is in Bhadaka Sthana. So based on placement, no, he is in Bhadaka Sthana. It's not okay. For 8th Lord to be in Bhadaka Sthana, it is not okay. But for Lagna Lord to be in the 11th house, it is okay. So he will, Bhadaka Sthana. The 11th house also happens to be Bhadaka Sthana. So both the results will be given. When? Depends on the Antardasha. Whenever he will find there are some planets which are conducive to one agenda, some planets conducive to the other agenda. So he will find planets which are conducive to that agenda, give those results in those Antardasha. That's it. Atmakarka? No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. It can change. As far as I know, not necessarily. I don't know for sure, of course. But my understanding is it doesn't have to be the same.
We would have actually, have we gone through the regular approach what we have been following?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. First of all, Sun is weak there. Second of all, Sun is in a Parivartana with Venus. So it may or may not apply. I'm not 100% sure. So you can try and see if it makes sense. Pardon me? That's what I was going to do before you guys talked about Shastani. I was in Rajyasa, I was going to click on Shodasamsa. Because there has to be. It is a serious accident. There has to be something bad happening in Shodasamsa. So I was going to check. I wasn't going to talk about it because we never talked about Shodasamsa. But I was going to check. So it was Rahu Venus. Now there is some chance, but I am more impressed by Vimshottari. You can try because you know a lot of events. Try and see various events and see whether Vimshottari makes more sense or Shastani. Try that. My feeling is based on the Parivartana, it's unlikely that Sun will act as Sun. If Sun is not acting as Sun, the condition is not satisfied. So it's unlikely that Shastani will be a perfect Dasha here. So Vimshottari may be better. But try that. And now there is a Dasha known as Shodasamsa. There is a Dasha known as Shodasamsa. This Dasha, sorry. This is the Dasha that shows any serious health issues or serious accidents, even death. This is the Dasha that shows Shiva's Shula basically coming and striking at us. So the thumb rules are, we haven't done it, so I'll just give a few thumb rules for this class before I end the class. The Arudha Lagna and its signs are important. Arudha Lagna and trine. Because Arudha Lagna is the Maya of your existence. If the person dies, he still exists, his soul exists, there is a particular existence. His deeds exist in the material world, his soul exists in a different world, but the Maya relating to so and so person is doing so and so things, he lives in so and so house, all that Maya is completely terminated. So Arudha is what is being destroyed by Shiva. And the trines from the Arudha, if you see the Arudha Lagna and the trines from it, those are the important houses. That is the dharma of the Maya. The dharma is basically being removed. So it is the three houses. These three houses are the ones where Shiva's sola comes and hits. Then the person's end will come. Arudha Lagna and the trines from it. Arudha, 5th and 9th from it. So those dashas, if you see, and also 3rd from Arudha. These are the dashas that are Maraka dashas, that are very bad dashas. So if you see any of them, any trine from Arudha or 3rd from Arudha, if the dasha are running, and also you see any malefic combinations in the chart showing ill health, disease, accident, serious suffering, if you see any such negative combination, and if you see those combinations aspecting this sign by Rashi Drishti, then the indications are even stronger. If you see such a period, you should advise the person to do certain prayers, for example, do Mrityunjaya Home, etc. during such period. And here, Aquarius is a trine from Arudha Lagna. As a matter of fact, it is the evil most trine out of the 3 Arudha Lagna trines. It is the most evil sign, Aquarius. Usually Saturnine, Martian, those signs are likely to give bad results. Not all bad events should happen in those, but that is another factor. Evil sign is one factor. Trine from Arudha Lagna or 3rd from Arudha Lagna is another factor. Bad aspect is another thing. Is the 6th Lord, 8th Lord, Bhadakesha, or any planet in Gannatha, any planet in Manakarkasthana, are they aspecting it? That is another indication. And now here, who are aspecting Aquarius? Do I have to do it or do you know? The Bhadakesha sun who is afflicting Lagna, he is aspecting Aquarius. And this combination, Moon, Jupiter, Rahu, especially Jupiter, afflicted by Rahu in deep Gannatha, 6th Lord. He is aspecting Aquarius, and Sun is, Bhadakesha is aspecting Aquarius, and it's a trine from Arudha Lagna. So in Aquarius Dasha, there is a chance of some problem in health. And Antardashas, I am not going to use them because using Antardashas is more complicated, and let's ignore Antardashas. When you use Shura Dasha, just see the Dasha. If a bad Dasha is running, tell them to be careful. If you see, for example, a Maraka also aspecting it, or Maraka Unit are aspecting it, then it is even worse. Who are the Marakas in this chart? 2nd and 7th Lord is Mars. Oh, he is in the 8th house. So Mars is definitely an important planet. And who else? Mars is the Maraka. Anybody else? Any malefics in the 2nd and 7th houses are also Marakas. Yes, Ketu is the 7th Lord. So Ketu, Mars and Ketu are the Marakas. So luckily they are not aspecting Aquarius, so it's not that bad. Right. But if you see the 6th Lord, such a badly afflicted 6th Lord affecting that house, you can expect some trouble. Okay? So this is Shura Dasha. Yes, go ahead. Pardon me? From Kiran's chart? Okay, let's do that. See, were you born then? You said all children were born. Okay, Kiran. You look much younger than you are, that's why I asked you. Kiran Chandrasekhar. Yeah, that's what I am coming to. I understood your question. So, the question is how to see the same event from Kiran's chart. So, why I asked whether you were born is if a child is not born yet, you may not be able to see events in parents' life from the chart of the son. Suppose he was born in 1881 and father had an accident in 80. You may or may not be able to see it from his chart. Mostly you will not be able to see it. So anyway, this is his Rashi chart. This is his Dvadashamsa. And now, first Shola. You can use Vimshottari and other dashas. That we will see a little later. But just using Shura Dasha, there is a variation. If you click on option, see first, self, which house should Shura Dasha start from? Select 9th, father. This is called Pitrishola Dasha. This Pitrishola Dasha is started from the 9th house. Basically, Shura Dasha is started from the stronger of Lagna and 7th house. You start from the stronger, you just go each Rasi, from there go zodiacally, each Rasi gets 9 years. That's it. Shura Dasha is so easy to compute. You don't need any software. You can do it mentally. This is basically Shiva's progression. It doesn't have any, this is the progression of time basically. Shiva as Mahakala. So he doesn't have any logic, nothing. It's a very simple approach. Just keep going. That's it. And when end comes, end comes. So this Dasha is very simple to compute. In the case of parents, father, what you see is take the 9th house, take that as Lagna. So take the stronger of that and 7th from it. Start from there, keep going. So first is Taurus, 9th house is Taurus, stronger of Taurus and Scorpio is Taurus, start from Taurus, first Dasha is Taurus, next is Gemini, next is Cancer, next is Leo and so on. Keep going like that. That's it. Now, and each Dasha is by the way 9 years. So that is Shura Dasha competition. Now, so this event happened in Taurus Dasha itself. His very first Dasha. Is Taurus Dasha bad for father? Is it bad or good for father? Marka for who? Yeah. Which 9th lord are you talking about? Okay, I am just looking at Rashi now. This is Rashi. So, in the Rashi chart, when this Dasha runs, is this good for father or bad for father? Simple. How do you find out? Again, what are the bad Dasha? Should it be trines from Arudha Lagna? Which Maya is being destroyed when something happens to father? Let's say when father passed away, which Maya? The Maya of the 9th house is being destroyed. So the rule is, instead of AL, Arudha Lagna, see A9. So where is A9? It is in Capricorn. So the trines from Capricorn, when Taurus Dasha comes, when Virgo Dasha comes, when Capricorn Dasha comes, these are Viril Dasha, as far as father is concerned. Out of these, are there any signs where there are malefic afflictions? Taurus. In Taurus, you have the Karka for father, son, afflicted by Ketu. Are they close? They are far apart. So that is good. So that's a saving grace. But you have sun and moon being afflicted by Ketu, and Ketu is also Marka. Is he Marka for the 9th house? If you take the 9th house and see the Marka, just like we saw from the Lagna in his own chart, you see from the 9th house now. So from the 9th house, the Marka is 7th lord basically, 2nd and 7th lord. So Mercury and Mars by Ketu. Ketu is stronger than Mars, by the way. So Mercury, Ketu and Mars. These are the Markas. And any malefics in the 2nd house. So Saturn and Mars are also Markas. So Saturn, Mars, Ketu and Mercury. Out of these, who is the strongest Marka? Tough to say. I will pick Mars because he is 7th lord and also he is in the 2nd house. I would pick Mars as the most malefic and then Ketu perhaps. And that one of those Markas, Ketu, he is in that sign. So the indications are even stronger. Now there is another thumb rule. When you are seeing the Shoradasha of a relative in the Rashi chart of the person, you can use Therakarkas also. If you remember, sometime back I talked to you about Naisargika Karkas, Therakarkas and Therakarkas. I told you that Naisargika Karkas are ruled by, that Karkatvas are ruled by Brahma. That concept is ruled by Brahma. The concept of Therakarkas is ruled by Vishnu. The concept of Therakarkas is ruled by Shiva. And that shows, I told you at that time that any serious accidents, illnesses or even death that occurs to various relatives is seen from Therakarka. So you should see Therakarka. And the rule being that When you see the Sthirakarka, when Shiva's Shula comes there, that person is, that something happens to that person. Either death or a serious suffering. So, on trines also. The Sthirakarka is most important, but you can see the trines also. Okay? Because the idea being, whenever Shiva is in a particular, whenever Shodasha is in a particular sign, out of the 3 spokes of the Shula, the main one is in that sign. Other 2 are pointing to the other 2 signs. So Shiva's Shula is like a trine. It's moving across the zodiac. The main one is the Shodasha. The other 2 are the other 2 spokes. So if the main one is poking at a particular sign, some bad is happening to that particular house. But the trines can also suffer because other 2 spokes, they are not bad. They are also powerful. Okay? So here in any case, the main spoke of the Trishula is pinching the Sthira Pitrukarka. Who are the Pitrukarkas? Sthira Pitrukarkas? Stronger of Sun and Venus. If you go back and refer to a list that I gave you long back, I think I did when I talked about Karkas. For father it is stronger of Venus and Sun. For mother it is stronger of Mars and Moon. That is the thumb rule. Here who is stronger? Sun or Venus? Sun hands down. 4 planets and it is daytime. So Sun wins hands down. So not only the A9, trine from A9 is attacked by Shula, but Pitrukarka himself is attacked by Shula. So you can conclude that some bad events are possible to father. But what you should bear in mind is there are several other Karkas there. Mother is there. But again, mother's Dasha may be different. If you see Matru for example, based on the 4th house, if you see the Matru Shola Dasha, in the beginning it was Gemini Dasha running. So it's not that bad. Yeah, you should see from A4. It is 3rd from A4, so there are some negative indications. But let's leave it. But what I am trying to say is, when you see the Dashas for various relatives, the same sign may be marka for many. But the Dasha may come as per father Dasha, mother Dasha, brother Dasha, etc. It may come at different points of time. Okay? But the idea is the same. If you want to see brothers, take the 3rd house, take the stronger of 3rd and 9th. It will be the same Dasha, by the way. The father and brothers will be the same Dasha. So if you see something bad happening to brothers, it doesn't have to be all brothers. It can be one of the brothers. So you should realize that you should take this with a pinch of salt. This is not deterministic. But this will give you a decent idea of when something bad is likely to happen to one of your close relatives. So that is how you see based on Sholadasha from Kiran's chart about his father's serious health problem. Now I understand. You said it's not exactly health problem. So now I understand what you mean. Not exactly health problem. But you see his serious suffering. You see that from the Rashi chart. Now see how to see it from Dvadashamsha. Dvadashamsha. So what dasha do you want? What is the dasha you use, Kiran Vimshotri? So let's see Kiran Vimshotri dasha. At that time, that's what I asked. The Satabdika dasha, he uses Satabdika dasha. And Mercury Venus dasha was, Mercury Moon dasha was running. Mercury dasha, Moon and dasha as per Satabdika dasha was running in Kiran's chart. And if you want to see, if you want to judge based on Dvadashamsha, judge closer. We saw that there is some evil possible for father. Some suffering, serious suffering possible for father. When Shoradasha shows a suffering, it will be serious suffering. It will not be just some scrape or something. It will be a huge, big suffering. Now, here, Mercury and Moon, are they good planets or bad planets? See the 9th house. If you want to see what happens to father, we see from the 9th house. 9th house has an 9th Lord Mars there. So if we see from there, yeah, Mercury is Lord of 3rd and 6th house in Badhakasthana. If 3rd and 6th house, 6th Lord first of all, is a functional benefit or male thing? Functional male thing. And he is in Badhakasthana. So it's accentuated further. So are any accidents possible for father during this time? Yes, quite possible. And then what about moon?
When you say it could have happened without his consent, it was in the father's stana that we don't know. Yeah, what's it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was actually happening in the
I was wondering, because we saw the Shodasamsa of TP chart, we didn't see vehicular accident. So later when you said vehicular accident, I was trying to see what is there in that D-16 that we missed. Because I didn't really see any. So when you said vehicular accident, it's not his vehicle. In which case D-16 will show it. Some other vehicle came and hit him, you won't see it in his D-16. So that was missing link so far. I'm still thinking about it. What is there? Jupiter is here. Who caused it? I was still thinking. Why Mars caused it? Okay, so thanks for resolving it. Now coming back to the point. So in the annual chart, before you came in, we saw D6, other charts, Sati. We saw D16 to see if it was a vehicular accident. We concluded it was an accident or injury or something, but not a vehicular accident based on D16. But later he said vehicular accident, and I was still trying to reconcile in my mind what could it be. Vehicular accident you see from the D16, 6th house and 8th house. You will see something bad going on there. I can quickly give an example of vehicular accident. Actually, you see my chart. The data everybody should have by now, but I'll just say it. April 4, 1970, 5:47:13 p.m. IST, Maharishi, India, 81 East 12, 16 North 15. See 1996 chart. See the Shodasamsa. If you see the 1996 annual chart, in Shodasamsa, Leo Rising, it has Mercury, which is irrelevant now. And if you see the 6th house, the Lagna Lord Sun goes to the 6th house, afflicted by Shani, Rahu, Ketu. And Shani is 6th Lord of accident. So Lagna Lord is badly hammered by all the male sex. All his worst enemies got together in an enemy's house, they are totally beating him. So when it comes to vehicles, vehicular pleasure, etc., certainly some accident is possible. If you see 6th house or 8th house having weird combinations that seem like that, then you can conclude that there can be a problem with vehicles. So tell him to be careful in driving. Unfortunately, I didn't see it. Nobody told me to be careful. So I was careless. And it happened in Shanidasa. It happened on December 5, 1996. It was Shanidasa, Shani Antardasa. So when Shani completely got control over me, he gave the result of being the 6th Lord in 6th house, affecting the Lagna. Yeah, with Rahu Ketu. So it was very sudden also. So I had a vehicular accident in which vehicle was total. Nothing happened to me, luckily. I didn't have any injury at all. Well, if you want to see if anything is possible to my body, see the Rasi chart, see the D6, etc., I will leave that to you. But he's not that bad as far as my body is concerned. But for my vehicle, he's terrible. So, vehicle was total. The insurance company had to give me a new car, money to buy a new car. And the vehicle was total. That's what I call vehicular accident. Not vehicle coming and hitting you. So this kind of thing we would have seen in Shodasamsa. Had it been his vehicle that was involved in an accident. Anyway, going back to Kiran's chart. Now we want to see what happened to father during Mercury moon, if I remember right. Oh yeah, so the first dasha. I was looking at some later dasha. Okay. So it happened in Mercury Venus. Mercury moon. Is an accident possible in the Mercury moon? We said that Mercury dasha can give an accident. Why moon? Why moon? Pardon me? Yeah. If A6 and A8 are there in Dvadasamsa with moon, moon will give A6, A8 results, right? But does it show father's accident? No. What does it show? Now, because you brought up a good point, we have to realize that Dvadasamsa is not only for seeing what happens to father, what happens to mother. It is also to see how you feel relating to your father. What is the impact of your father's and mother's life on you at that point of time? So that is also seen in Trimsamsa. So you see that moon is the 12th lord and he is exalted. Exaltation of a Dusthana lord is not good. He is in the 12th from Arudha Lagna, showing some kind of giving us some loss, etc. And he is with A8, A6. What would A6 and A8 show? Some struggle that he has to make, some sudden development. Pardon me? It could show some quarrels also. It could show quarrels with the A6 and A8. If a planet is in those Arudhas in Dvalsamsa, in that dasha, there is definitely some bad event related to father. And it can be quarreling with them, walking away from them, etc. And from Arudha Lagna, he is in the 12th house, from Lagna he is the 12th lord. So it could be some kind of loss. So he can lose father, or he may not have father for a while. If his father is in hospital, it's basically a loss. That is possible. He may have gone abroad, his father may have gone abroad. So there are so many possibilities. Picking the right possibility is difficult. But you can say based on it that there is some suffering that he has to go through, some struggle, some obstacles that he has to face relating to parents. Father or mother you don't know. Relating to parents, there is some misfortune for him during that year in that moon under dasha. That's all you can say. Not year actually. Those 6 months. That's all you can say. But to see what happens to father, take the 9th house. Take the 9th lord. Take the A9, take L9. So if you want to see what happened to father as a thinking and being person, what is the reference that we should take? To see the relationship, it is 9th house. The manifestation of the relationship is A9. The father's intelligence is 9th lord. The manifestation of father as a different entity, different living and breathing entity is L9. The Arudha of the 9th lord. So where is L9? Can anybody tell me without computing it, without me changing the view? It's Capricorn, yeah. So it's in Capricorn. So if you take Capricorn as Lagna, how is Mercury Dasha? Again. What happens to father as a person during this period? Earlier what we saw from the 9th house, which means the guidance he is getting from father. To that there is an obstacle because Mercury is the 6th lord from there. We said that Mercury function malefic, etc. It shows that he is not getting enough guidance from father. There is some obstacle to the guidance he is getting from father. And moon is in Maraka Sthana from that, from the 9th house. So the guidance may even end for some reason. So that is what you can say based on 9th house. You can't say father had an accident. You can only say the guidance that the father gives him, the fathering that his father does to him, has some obstacles and maybe there was a temporary end, temporary break. That's what you can say. You see what happened to father? Is it because he went abroad? Or is it because he had an accident and he was in a hospital? To see that, you see the L9. So from L9, how is Mercury? Again he is 6th and 9th lord. He owns both the houses, so there is some protection to father during the dasha. And also there is possibly an accident. And the 6th lord is in Marakasthana, 2nd house. So there can be an accident to father. Is that understood? Okay. Now what else? Moon. How is moon for father? Yeah. 7th lord. So is he a Maraka? Because we are talking about the Dasha lord in Marakasthana. Mercury is in Marakasthana. The other Antardasha lord moon is also a Maraka. He is the Maraka lord and he is the dispositor of 8th lord. 8th lord sun is in 7th house. And he is the dispositor of that planet. So looking at both, you can conclude that it's not so good. And finally see the Bhoga. Where is the Bhoga? From Mercury to moon is 4. From moon to, if you count 4 houses, it is Leo. Which house results will be experienced by father as a separate person during this Antardasha? 8th house results. So some sudden unexpected events are possible to father. So this is the kind of granularity you can get when you are talking about father from the start. You can't say it was a vehicular accident without his mistake. If you have intuition, maybe you can, but you can't say for sure, basically. Just based on replicable principles, you can't say anything more than that. All you can say is father, maybe there was some death-like condition, some serious event, maybe some unexpected bad event to father. That's all. Even death is possible theoretically because both the planets are Marakas. Death is also possible. But there is some protection. Okay. So with that, I will end for today. Actually, you want to add a point? Your time starts. Yeah? Okay, let's see his Dasamsa. He wants to see in the Dasamsa what kind of job he had. So he said he did odd jobs in the beginning and later. Okay. He was in banking. He was a bank employee. So first he did some odd jobs, later he became a bank employee. So what is the kind of career you would expect here? See the Dasamsa, assume that this is correct. Okay, you want to do. Okay. Dasamsa. Which are the planets who show career? 2, 6 and 10. No, father's chart now. He wants to see in the Dasamsa. His father's chart. I changed it. Forget the Dasha. We are seeing the career. If it makes you feel comfortable, I'll change that. Okay. Now it's not distracting you. Okay. Who show the career? Mercury can show the career. Mercury is with Jupiter, even though he is in the 8th house with the 8th lord, but he is aspecting his own house. The second lord is aspecting his own house. So money coming from Mercury related things. And also linked to Sagittarius and Jupiter. That is one possibility. What is the other possibility? Mars, 7th lord is in 6th house, so he doesn't really show the career that much. Right. And the 10th house, if you see the actual 10th house, it is ruled by Shani and Rahu. What kind of career would Shani and Rahu show? Shani and Rahu. Shani is the laborer of the planetary cabinet. So, Shani and Rahu in general show routine jobs according to Dr. Raman. But they can also show other things. Shani can, for example, show a yogi. There are so many other possibilities. So, it's not that Shani means routine jobs, but definitely routine jobs goes to Shani and Rahu. So, routine jobs is one possibility because the planet is Shani and also he is in the... Which house is he in from his own house? The 10th lord is in the 6th house from 10th house. So, the career can be Saturnine and also relating to 6th house. 6th house is struggle, obstacles, overcoming obstacles, etc. I told you earlier, if the 6th lord, let us say, is in the 8th from 5th, so occult scholarship. Scholarship is possible because he is 6th lord and he is in the 8th from that house, so occult scholarship. Similarly, 10th lord is in the 6th from 10th, so some career, Saturnine career involving lot of obstacles, etc. So it can be routine jobs. So Shani can give him routine jobs, but after that, when Mercury takes control, can Mercury give a job in banking? Who gives banking jobs? Mercury is the Karaka for banking jobs. And also he is with Jupiter. Jupiter shows financial institutions, Jupiter and Sagittarius. Pardon me? Venus can show finances, but when you are talking about banks, financial institutions, insurances, etc., it's more Jupiter and Mercury than Venus actually. So, Jupiter and Mercury in Sagittarius can show insurance, bank, etc. So, those kind of jobs. So, basically when Mercury got control over life, that switch from Saturnine career to Mercurian career is possible. So, you can take this as a homework. Now, don't compile the next 45 lessons for the next year now. Do homework for the next few months. So, take this chart and see the dashas and see, he said around 35 years of age, this switch happened. Try to find out why. Oh, okay. So, at what age did he switch? For what? Yeah. Okay. Around the age of 35 he changed. No, from the age of 25.
He's been in the bank job for 30 years.
Oh, that's what he said. I got it opposite. Okay. So Mercury dominated more than Shani. Okay. So see why he did Saturnian job during that period, and then why he switched to the Mercurian job around the age of 25. So 69 he joined bank. Try to see from the Dashamsa and the Dashas and the Vishwatik Dasha, or if you prefer Shasthani Dasha as we saw that being applicable, and try to see if you can make some sense of it. Okay? Okay. With that I will end the class today. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti